Hi, Jonathan Trager here for Seconds Out. I'm joined today by Dave Coldwell, promoter, obviously trainer in this capacity on Saturday night.
Trainer,
First of all, your reaction to the presser and the pre-stare down, shall we say?
Very cordial, very civil. I mean, to be honest, where we are now, 2 days out, Tony just wants to fight. He's fed up with all these media engagements and stuff and talking about it. He wants to get in there, he wants to fight now. He was, I think he's had enough of listening to what Clever's got to say. He just wanted to get on with it. And it was quite civil and cordial. Although you can feel tension all the time. Whenever these two are in the same room, you can feel the tension. It's like, this can go off at any minute.
And your role as a trainer, when you're involved in a real grudge match like this, is it as much psychological and mental as it is preparing him physically? Because obviously Tony, if he can be emotional, have you got to calm him down?
It's a bit of both. There's using your emotion for good purposes where you can channel it, but then there's where if you let it take over, as long as you're in control of it, you can use emotion really, really well. Especially when you're at the style of a fighter that what Tony is, which is where he goes in to knock people out. You can't. It's very hard to have intentions of doing, letting go your bombs and being aggressive and everything in a fight. If you go in all laid back and cold, sometimes some fighters need a little bit of a spite about them and need to be a bit aggressive. But if you let that control yourself and you go over the top and you go wild, that's when it's stupid. And he knows that going wild would be stupid. Whereas if you're going to be aggressive in a smart way, then that's fine. And this is why since I've been working with him, I've said to him, because it's stuck with him in his head, it's all about intellectual bombing. You don't just go out there bombing, everyone wants to bring back the bomb and everything, but you've got to be smart with it. So,
I like that little phrase you've coined there.
Yeah, that's how I've brought it to him because it's stuck with him. So and everything in sparring is. And in the early days where you see once he goes, you'd be able to rein him back, and he's using a lot more thought behind his work now. And he knows on Saturday, for all his work that we've done, if he just lets his emotions take over, then that work's wasted. It's absolutely wasted, and it gives Cleverly more of a chance of winning. Whereas if he keeps his emotions in check but uses them, because it will be emotional and it will have aggression about him, which is what I want. And it's what I've been asking for in sparring, but it's been in a thoughtful manner, and that's all he's got to do on Saturday night, as far as I'm concerned. He's got to do what we've been doing in the gym.
And can I, obviously your role as a trainer, you're focusing on keeping Tony calm and focused on the job. When it comes to grudge matches, throughout the years of myself watching boxing, I see trainers sometimes, because you are obviously emotionally invested into it. Tony's your friend, but also someone you're invested in. Is it hard for you sometimes to detach yourself in that way, or do you just view yourself, well, I've got this, I'm his trainer, and it's not for me to be involved in the animosity?
I've got a job to do, but every job that whether I'm a promoter, manager, or a trainer, I am personally involved, because I only really work with people that I like, especially up close and personal training people. If I like something, I can't help. But one of those that kind of like wears me out on my sleeve. So I can't help but be personally attached to it. It's like when Curtis Woodhouse or Ryan Rhodes, came back from defied odds to win titles. I was emotional.
I know.
But then the same when they've been beat, I was emotional, but in the other way. And the same thing will happen on Saturday night, but that's after the fight. That's when it's all done. Up to there, I've got a job to do. I've got to keep his emotions in check. My emotions are hidden, and I'll hide that. And it helps because I am quite a laid-back, calm sort of person. So, I worked. I'll tell you, I worked for 4 years with Adam Booth, and he's very, very calm. And I am calm naturally, but then being up close and personal, working with Adam, and seeing how he remained calm in corner, that's rubbed off on me as well. I've always been around people that are quite calm, level-headed. You know, since I've been a trainer, since I've worked in business on that side, you know, I've learned from working a couple of corners. I had Jimmy Tibbs in the corner as well working.
Yeah.
Jimmy Tibbs is, you know, just a great man, and although it's only a couple of times, I've learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
You know, and so people like that I've worked in, and then also, you know, before I had any fighters as such, I used to have seconds for Frank Warren for his shows, and I'm working in corners with some great trainers.
Yeah.
And so you're watching these people, and then you're seeing how, you know, fighters respond. So there's times when you need to give somebody a bollocking,
yeah,
and you need to rant and rave, you know, and there's times when you need to be emotive with them. Also, it depends on the fighter as well. But then there's times when you need to be calm with them, and in order to get your message through, in order for them to get instruction. And that's how I am. If it's needed, I will kick off, and I have done with him already. I think it was the Brewdog fight. But if it's not needed, if everything's going to plan, there's no need to be animated and jumping up and down. You know, sometimes you can say too much in a corner, when it's not needed, and then start confusing the fighter.
Yeah.
So I like to just say it as it is and what's needed, and you know, that's how we'll be. But like I said, if you do need to be emotional, I have been emotional with fighters before, and I can be.
Yeah. And can I ask you as well, obviously as we draw nearer to the fight, fighters are trying to gain some, you know, psychological edge, and, you know, but trying to looking for every little bit. And obviously Tony made a couple of references there to certain things to push buttons, I presume. I mean, it's boxing, isn't it? At the end of the day, you're going to get in the ring and have a fight. Yeah. So do you sort of disregard the fact that, you know, sometimes it might be a very touchy or sensitive subject if they're bringing it up?
Yeah. That's all. The thing is, if it was an everyday run-of-the-mill fight, yeah, that wouldn't come up. But you know, listen, when
the magnitude
when
of
it, when you don't like somebody,
yeah,
right? If you think back to your arguments you've had before, and you know, with somebody that you really don't like, really detest, it's kicking off. You pick something out and you'll say it, yeah, to upset them.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you know, whether it's you're black, you're fat, you're whatever. You know what I mean? People always say something, yeah, to get into them. And at the end of the day, these two can't stand each other. And Nathan's calling him fat all the time.
Yeah.
You know, well, if I tweet out somebody or say to somebody, "Oh, you're fat, you are," yeah, everyone's going to slag me off. Nobody's picking that up. He's constantly calling Tony fat, constantly calling him fat. Yeah. You know, and so a lot of people don't like people being called fat. Yeah. But nobody's mentioned anything about that. Yeah. Because it's fat, so it's all right. Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's boxing. We're not here playing tennis. Yeah. We're not here playing cricket where it's, you know, it's big code of conduct and all that lot. Yeah. You know, and you're talking about two guys that don't like each other, so it's going to get personal.
And can I ask you why? I mean, what specifically about me, aside from the fact they had a very close fight, obviously, that went Nathan's way, what is it specifically about Nathan's personality that rubs Tony up?
I think a big thing is Tony's kind of guy that when if he beats, like he's had a couple of close fights, he's turned around and said to him straight away, that was a close fight. You know, deserve a rematch, there you go, let's do it again. Or just giving somebody credit. If somebody's coming and had a really good go, he was a tough kid, good fight, I beat him, blah blah, move on. Cleverly's in the ring said to him how it was the toughest fight he's ever had. Such a close fight, hard fight. 20 minutes later, he's gone in front of media when he's got cameras stuck in his face and saying that he never got out of second gear and it's an easy fight. Yeah. So I think that's really upset Tony. Yeah. And then the fact that because it was a close fight, all right, let's do it again. He had no interest in rematch, and that really got to me. And it's just built up and it's just built up. Listen, sometimes personalities clash, and you know, somebody might think that I'm alright and they like me, next person next to them thinks I'm alright, so-and-so, and really hates me. And that's how it is, you know, it's all down to individual personalities.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine anyone disliking you, Dave. I'm going to be honest there,
mate. There's a few, check my Twitter, there's a few.
Well, obviously, thanks a lot for your time today, and all the best for Saturday.
Thanks, mate, cheers.